Welcome to my very inspiring talk today, my TED Talk on harmonizing dev and marketing. Okay. This does not want to work today. Little introduction. I'm Celeste. I'm a South African living in France, if you're asking where the weird accent is coming from. I'm a designer, marketer. I love gaming, I love dogs, and I love Lego. And I am the digital communications and communities manager for Platform, Blackfire, and Upside. So enough about me. Let's talk about why you're here. You're here to get a guide on how to help marketing and developer teams become BFFs. And the question is actually, why is there really a dislike? Or is it just a disconnect? This is the main question, but we all know it's actually a dislike. And 9 out of 10 developers have never hugged a marketer. This is a fake stat, but I actually suspect this is real and actually true. And so, first of all, why is there this long-standing perceived feud between developers and marketers? Going down the rabbit hole of Reddit, there's so many questions, so many people saying, I hate marketers. We all hate marketers, but why? Why do we hate them? Developers think about one thing, developing the matrix. And marketers think about how they can jump through all the fiery hoops that Exco is putting them through without burning their you-know-what. So, the question is, what is it actually? Could it be unrealistic timeline pressures? Is it actually feature demands that prioritizes marketing over the actual product and delivering good product? And is it miscommunication, vague requests? Is it all about a lack of mutual understanding? Could it be the limited, bandwidth, prioritization conflicts? Everyone, doing their own thing instead of working together. Misalignment of success metrics. All of these together end up in one common result. Absolute fiery chaos, where we're all trying to strangle each other. So I learned the hard way, so you don't have to. After many years of tech agency working with back-end developers, front-end developers, including working with game developers, I learned many things. And that is, developers think very logically, very analytically, but they also want structure, but they also want people to understand their emotional needs. So how do we solve this and create harmonization? Build a bridge? Yes, we actually built a bridge. So what are we going to do? Let's build a bridge. There's a 3-step approach for practical collaboration. So step 1 is every bridge starts with a roadmap, a very clear roadmap between you and marketing is going to align the teams, makes everything clear, separates all conflicts, but you have to keep to that roadmap. So again, communications. Yes, I work in communications. Obviously, it's about communications. So that makes for a sturdy bridge. So you need to communicate, clear briefs, using clear templates, agreeing on those templates, agreeing on how you communicate, your ways of working. How do you do that? And then, Then to make that bridge sturdy, you need teamwork. Collaboration is very important, and you need to make sure that you're working together. You're constantly communicating. You're constantly catching up. You're constantly giving feedback. So now that bridge is under construction. So we need to now implement a 3-step process with tools and actions of how to actually do that. It's easy to say, oh, let's build a roadmap. Oh, let's have clear communication. Oh, let's collaborate. But how do you actually make sure that happens? And that's with tools. Tools and actions and committing to those actions is what's going to help you actually get there. So first of all, yes, a roadmap is great, but a visual roadmap is even better. So when you use things like Kanban boards, project management tools, and you're sharing through those tools, you're actually creating clarity, setting milestones, and you're scheduling all these quarterly plans and rollouts. All of you here know what a sprint is, right? And how a sprint works, how you align. You need to do that with marketing. Even if that's not their rhythm, you need to bring them into your rhythm so they can understand how you work, so you understand how they work, and you can all brainstorm and work together. Then, again, make the communication as simple and easy and as clear as possible. You need to automate as much as possible. So have automated updates being sent out on a daily. Daily communication is incredibly important to make sure that there's harmony between the two teams. And also, again, feedback. Feedback needs to be clear and simple. And again, safe spaces. Creating that psychological safety where people can share in that space is very important for making sure that your collaboration succeeds. Then, teams who work together make this shit happen together. And you need to set up and keep to your bi-weeklies. You need to do some knowledge sharing, because as much as you as a developer, get frustrated because marketing doesn't understand what you do or understands everything, teach them. Share the knowledge. Have deep dive demos on a monthly. Show them what you're doing. Take them through it. I guarantee you, they will actually enjoy it. And then they'll actually understand where you're coming from. Then the most important thing to creating teamwork and a safe space, always put kindness first. But don't think kindness as being, oh, you've got beautiful hair. I love that jacket. That's cool. I love the glitter. No. You need to be honest. Honesty is kindness. And when you're honest with your team members, with someone you're working with, it actually creates a much more trustworthy space between you and between your team. So here's some really cool tools that you can invest in. You'll know mostly some of them, but things like Miro, Zoom, even doing design thinking sessions like with stickies, mind maps. These things are cool. I know it sounds lame, but they're actually really, really cool. And good old pen and paper if you're not working remote. So sit around the table together, put it all out there, have ideas, put all the things on the table. But there's only one ultimate tool for collaboration. The tool that rules them all is feedback. And feedback is an art. So you'll hear lots of the times it's a gift. It is a gift. Treat it that way. And you're not always going to get that gift. And feedback has a very unique way of presenting itself and the way you should be communicating. So a lot of you might have heard of the feedback sandwich. I actually believe in a very different thing. And I feel this method fosters a new sense of trust. It creates a motivation, and it also prevents discouragements and blockers, because we're human beings. We're emotional first. no matter how much we try and deny that. So for me, it's all about the feedback wrap. So instead of sandwiching everything, the bad news between two compliments, no. You're going to think of this as like a nice little burrito, and you're going to wrap it all up, but with kindness, not to make them all feel fuzzy on the inside. So first of all, make sure you describe your context, make them understand why you are giving this feedback. What is it that you want to actually convey to them? Then you want to list your observations, but in a very factual manner. Leave emotions out of it. This is not where emotions come to play. This is very factual. Then you express your feelings. Say, oh, I felt this was this perception. If this is incorrect, please correct me. But this is how X made me feel, or X made me perceive this. Then explain the value. The value, why is this feedback valuable? Why do you feel it's valuable? Why is it valuable to that person? How is it going to help them grow as a person and as a colleague? Then end it off with some suggestions. Oh, let's work on this together. Oh, let's get together, have a little brainstorm, work on this. Oh, you don't understand this? Cool. I'll explain it to you. Or here's some really cool YouTube videos to watch on the subject in your downtime. It makes people feel a lot more valued. It makes them feel they can trust you, that you are honest with them. And honesty is the number one key to harmonizing between developers and marketing. Because we all think marketers are a little slimy sometimes, because they like to spin it and, make things out like they're not actually are. And, that is something I learned very quickly going from being a designer, a developer, an animator into the very, very dark world of marketing. And, ever since I moved into marketing, it's always been something that's been passionate for me, is to make sure that marketers actually become ethical and they act ethical and they do the right thing. And when I discovered the feedback wrap, I was like, oh, this is perfect, because we keep telling people, you're a little shit at your job, but oh, you did a really good presentation yesterday, but don't do that shitty thing again. That's how we treat everything. So now that bridge is complete, it's time to meet in the middle and align. No bridge is going to work if the one side is willing to work on it and the other one isn't. Then it's just going to fall apart. So now you need to meet in the middle. And to be successful in this harmonization and find that technical precision and build that product and make sure everyone loves that product and understands that product, you really need to bridge that gap and meet in the middle. And, it can drive so many things, not just from exceptional user experiences. It can actually make you even more creative and find better innovations. You could discover something from a fellow marketer that you never even thought of. Think of them as like user testing and farming ideas, because you never know where a good idea will come from. So you want excellence, you want to be unified, build that bridge. So what are some of the learnings that we've learned today? Is share goals and responsibilities, align priorities, make sure everyone is on board, everyone has buy-in, everyone's responsible. Everyone needs to be responsible for everyone to be aligned. Clear communication. I cannot stress this. Clear communication over communicate. If you think you're communicating too much, you're not communicating enough. Eliminate all confusion. Be as clear as possible. Then, regular syncs build trust. You might think that a weekly sync or daily sync, even if it's just a Slack message, that's a sync. Just daily updates, weekly updates to let everyone know what's going on, what's happening. This is what I worked on. This is what I found. Cool. Then the right tools. You need the right tooling that works for everyone, that everyone's going to use. If not everyone wants to use the tools, throw in the towel. There's no use for it because everyone has to be aligned and responsible and on board. Celebrate. No matter how small of a little win it is, even if, that week Susan and Karen got to, deploy a project on, I don't know, some really weird thing and it broke, but still they tried. That's a win. That is a small win, but celebrate every single shared success. Even if it's a failure, nothing is a failure. Nothing is a negative in a failure. There's always a learning. So celebrate every single small shared win. Again, kindness, honesty. Always put kindness first. Very, very first thing. Go in with kindness because you want people to be kind to you and be honest to you. You need to give them that same thing. Lastly, be kind to yourselves. Be kind to your colleagues. Try Absent. It's pretty kind. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Questions? Do we have any questions? Yes. Question. I'm very bad at throwing.
Okay, so it's hard to phrase this. I've been thinking throughout the whole presentation how I would phrase it. If there's a really huge disconnect and you feel like one side of the bridge really wants to build it and the other one feels like they're okay, but you really know they're not, how would you approach this problem? Because sometimes it feels like hammering against the wall that's just too sturdy to destroy it before you can even start building the bridge. Do you have maybe some tips to come over that wall and then start?
Good question. And so, first of all, when that happens, it's very discouraging. You kind of just want to be like, fuck you, go away. But first of all, if this person is really not responding to anything that you're doing, bring in a third person to moderate. Because unfortunately, you can do as much as you possibly can to motivate someone to change their behavior, but it's up to them to want to change that behavior. So, and to bring in a third party moderator that has nothing to do with any of it is going to be a good way to create a safe space for each party to be heard. So think of it almost like, it's like couples counseling, like a therapy session. This person will have their opportunity to speak, you have your opportunity to speak, and you have a third, unbiased, completely outsider opinion to say, okay, you're not doing your part. This person feels like you're just pushing them and pressuring them, and you're going to find that resolution. If the resolution is unfortunately, okay, you shouldn't be working together, that's okay. Because remember, we're only human beings. We're not built for everyone to love us. And we're not going to work with every single personality. Cool. Any other questions? No, nothing. Everyone loves marketing.
Thank you. Yeah, just from earlier experiences. So the biggest difference that I always notice between marketing and developers is marketing thinks developers are super slow, and developers think the other way around. You're trying to go too fast, and that seems to be the biggest reason for the frustration all the time. So I wonder what your take would be from the marketer's view. Like, how do you feel when it seems like developers are slow? And what could we say to those marketers today? Look, we need this time. We need more time. Focus on something else or whatever. Like, how would what kind of information would you really want to get from the developers to go through that?
So when I spoke about sharing knowledge, that's where that is so vital. Coming from a designer background, designers they're not part of marketing. Same thing. We need time. We need time to be creative. And a marketer has no idea how long it takes to do anything. They think, oh, you press F10, magic, it's all there. And when you sit them down and you actually tell them, okay, this is what I need to do, you show them. You share the knowledge and you show them, this is what I need to do to give you X. And you use an example, you just say to them, this is how it works. I understand you have goals and deadlines and KPIs to meet, but so do I. You need to build that shared understanding between the two of you. Everyone has the same goal. You're all working towards the same goal. Is a really good product that users love and wants to use. And that's the thing. You need to make them understand, not lock them in a closet. Then, if that has to go that way. But yeah, just put them in your shoes. And remember, they have goals and KPIs just like you. And when it feels like there's too much pressure, go have a coffee. Move away from the work environment. Say, let's go have a coffee. Let's go have lunch together. Let's talk. Let's have a discussion. Figure out what is the best possible way forward and remove yourselves from that entire situation and talk about it in a calm, relaxing way.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions? Oh no. That went wrong.
Not video question, but just a quick answer to your question. So Celeste is on the marketing side. I'm on the dev side. We work together. We have frustration and tension, but actually it's working fine because we both have goals. But on top of that, there is an overarching one from the company and the strategy that is basically we need to bring new leads and new client to us. That's why we're there today. Thank you. So if we align on this one, actually, it's really easy to discuss and align because they have their schedule to release campaign and stuff. We have scheduled to create content, whatever that is. But basically, the end goal is the same. So framing that, we can actually rework everything to work a lot more together. So, and a lot of communication and a lot of empathy.
A lot of memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of memes and GIFs, just sharing, but shared goals, shared responsibilities. Any other questions? Here you go.
So do you have any experience or tips with basically getting marketing to agree to a vision like this? Because sometimes it feels like with, for example, sprint reviews and stuff like that, we are on the dev side just kind of screaming into the void. Here's these changes that we did. Here's the features we implemented. But we don't really have that side from marketing. So our bridge is basically one side. So how do we get the other side to see, okay, we also need you guys to start building the bridge?
Yeah. It's difficult. I'm not gonna lie. It's not easy, but starting with that shared roadmap, starting together from the very beginning and saying, okay, we're going to build this. You are going to align to sprints. You're going to work with us. This is how we're going to work. Setting all of that up from the beginning and giving them a voice. That's very important. Make sure that you give them a voice, because we all tend to lose that side of, I'm frustrated, I want to be the one, to be right all the time. And we forget, there's another side to this. So they might just feel like you're not giving them a voice. And that's what you need to break through, is say to them, let's build a roadmap. Tell me when you need what. I'm going to tell you when I can deliver. Let's agree. And have them have that voice and that input.
Thank you.
Cool. No other questions? Cool. Thank you, everyone. And remember, be kind, try out, son. Thank you.